joining. Let us have a session on Java database connectivity. My name is Lakshmi, and I'm having 12 years of experience in training and development, and I'm working as a scientist in the area of grid computing. So let us start the session, that is Java database connectivity. So these are the things we are going to learn in this session, that is what is database and what is DBMS and some SQL queries and JDBC. So in this session we are going to discuss about what is JDBC, what is the importance of JDBC in Java. These things we are going to discuss in today's session, right? So so what is JDBC is, so programs developed with Java JDBC are platform and vendor independent. What is the meaning of this? Whenever we develop the program with a combination of Java and JDBC, these are platform independent. Why they are platform independent? Because the Java itself is a platform independent language, and JDBC, which is a Java database connectivity, so this is also becomes a platform independent and it is a vendor independent for us. And the benefit of JDBC is nothing but write once, compile once, run anywhere. And what is the meaning of that? Write once, compile once, run anywhere. That means you are going to develop the Java JDBC application once. You are going to compile them once, but you can run on any platform. You can run on Windows platform, Solaris platform, Macintosh platform, any platform you can run. That is the meaning of write once, compile once, and run anywhere. So write applications in Java to access any DB. Our Java is so familiar in the market because it can access to any database. It is not restricted to one database. It can access to Oracle, Sybase, Informix, and even the mostly widely used in the market, that is NoSQL. Our Java can access NoSQL databases such as MongoDB, Cassandra, CuffDB. These are all can be accessed by using the Java, right? And write applications in Java to access DB using standard SQL statements while still following Java conventions, right? So in order to make connection to the database, we are going to use Java driver managers. So in the next coming slides, we are going to see what is Java driver managers and JDBC drivers, which provide the bridge between the database and the Java world. What is the meaning of this sentence? The meaning of this sentence is nothing but we have the Java application and our Java application wants to connect to this database, right? So what we are using here, I'm saying JDBC driver manager. So we'll be having a drivers here, and this drivers is going to provide a bridge between, the database and to the Java applications. That means Java application is written in Java programming language, whereas database is in its own database language. So there is no connectivity between Java language and the database language, because database language has its own format. Java language has its own format. So who is providing the bridge here? The drivers are providing the bridge here. So what are drivers and all, we will see in the next slides, right? So short and sweet, what is a JDBC is, JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, and it is a kind of API. What is the API? API is nothing but a application programming interface which consists of set of Java classes, interfaces and exceptions, and a specification to which both JDBC driver vendors and JDBC developers can develop the applications, right? And JDBC is very popular database standard, and relational database management systems or third-party vendors develop drivers, and using the drivers they can make connectivity to the applications, right? So we'll go to the next slide. Before going to the next slide, we'll have one more important discussion, that is called as who develops JDBC specification. who develops JDBC specifications? Sun prepares and maintains the JDBC specification. That means Sun is only responsible for the preparation and maintenance of JDBC specification. Since JDBC is just a specification, that is suggestions for writing and using JDBC drivers, that is called as third-party vendors, develop JDBC drivers adhering to these specifications, right? So, who develops JDBC specifications? The specifications are maintained and prepared by the Sun Microsystems only, so that developers can use these drivers and make connection to the database. Now, in the next slide, we will see the most important thing, that is called as how the connectivity is happening here. Whatever theoretically I have explained just now, we will see diagrammatically now. Here we have a Java application and we have a JDBC driver manager. Already I have explained you that we have Java program, and Java program can connect to this database using the drivers here. What is the drivers here? The driver managers are the software which makes the connection to the databases here. So the JDBC driver manager which provides the bridge between the databases here. So JDBC, ODBC bridge, vendor supplier JDBC drivers. That means we can use either JDBC, ODBC drivers. That is called as what? JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, and ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity, right? So we can make use of this bridge. What is the bridge? JDBC, ODBC bridge, and we are going to use ODBC driver and we are going to access the database. If not, people want to use JDBC, ODBC driver, they can make use of what? Vendor supplied JDBC driver. Some vendors may supply specific drivers also. So at that time, they don't want to they don't want to depend on JDBC, ODBC driver. And they can make use of what drivers? The drivers which are supplied by the vendors, and with the help of that drivers, they can make connection to the database. Short and sweet, our Java application can connect to the database only by using the drivers, only by using the JDBC drivers. So we have JDBC, ODBC bridge driver, or we may have vendor supplied drivers. If you are using a JDBC, ODBC bridge driver, in that case, the ODBC driver is going to make a connection to the database. If the vendor is having its own drivers, in that case, what is going to happen? The driver manager is going to make connection to the vendor supplied JDBC driver and make connection to the database. The most important thing we need to understand here is, see, we have kept two arrows here, that means both direction. Actually, whatever the Java program you have written, the Java program is a pure Java programming language. Whatever the instructions you have written, that is not understandable to the database, because database has got its own understanding. It has got its own separate language. So this is not understandable to the Java application, and Java is not understandable to the database. So for that purpose, these drivers are playing the role for transferring your connection. So the Java application wants some data. Then what is going to happen? These drivers, either JDBC, ODBC driver or vendor supply driver, what they are going to do? They are going to make connection to this driver manager, and whatever the request given by the Java application will be passed to the database, and database will return that data to the Java application. That is the reason we kept two arrows that shows that it's a to and fro operation, right? Yes. Ashish is asking me a question. Is Java supports all kind of database? Yes, Ashish, absolutely. Java is tremendous. There is no question at all. Java is an extraordinary software. It has taken a wide place in the market. It can connect to any kind of database. Either it could be a SQL or no SQL, whatever it could be. It can connect to any kind of database. All right, thank you. Kiran is saying the diagrams are very neat and clean. Okay, this is the credit goes to kernel training. Right. Next we will see with the components of JDBC. What are the components of JDBC? We are going to see. Let us start with the components now here. Let us see here. We have components like we have database servers here. Maybe it's I'm using SQL Server database and Oracle database server. And as I already explained you that to make connection, I require drivers. So I'm using ODBC driver, JDBC ODBC bridge, and MySQL driver here. So all are making connection to these drivers here, and then the connectivity part is happening either from this side or either from this side. Okay, and the most important components are, these are the important components in the application: connection, statement, result set metadata, callable statement, prepare statement, etc. And all these things are going to connect to the database by using the driver manager only. In the next coming slides, we will see the importance of individual component. What is connection will do? Connection is going to establish the connection to the database. What is the statement will do? What is callable statement? What is result set? What is prepare statement? What is result set metadata? All these things we are going to see in the next coming slides. Right. Coming to ODBC. What is ODBC? ODBC is nothing but a Open Database Connectivity. ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity, and JDBC is highly influenced by the Open Database Connectivity. Actually, frankly speaking, JDBC is a product of Sun System, whereas ODBC is a product of Microsoft. And ODBC has been written by using the C language interface. Why they have written? Because using this ODBC, people can access database from the Windows environment. Now, our JDBC, which is from the Sun ecosystem, is also making use of ODBC to access the data from the Windows environment also. So, people who are working under Windows environment, they can make use of ODBC drivers to make connection to JDBC. Or else, if people are working on any other vendor-based product, they can make use of vendor-based drivers and they can make connection to the database, right? So, short and sweet, JDBC is highly influenced by the ODBC, and ODBC provides a C interface for data access on Windows environment. ODBC has a few commands with lot of complex options. Java prefers simple methods but lots of them. That means what? The connectivity part of ODBC consists of number of commands, but Java prefers to have the simpler ones. So that is the reason every Java programmers or every Java clients, rather than depending upon ODBC drivers, everybody will depend on vendor specific drivers only, which provides a easy access to the database. Yes, there are, as I told you, that the Java application can connect to database using the drivers. So in Java, in JDBC, we have 4 types of drivers are there. What are the 4 types of drivers are there? The first driver, generally we call them just to be a simple, every people call them as a type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 driver, type 4 driver, like that people will call. But this is a very frequently asked question in the interview, that please name the JDBC drivers. So the first driver is called as what? JDBC ODBC bridge driver. JDBC ODBC bridge driver. And second type of driver is called as native API partly Java drivers. The second type is called as a native API partly Java driver. And third type of driver is called as a all Java or net protocol driver, or we call as a middleware drivers also. And fourth type of driver, which is called as a all Java or native protocol driver, or we call them as the pure Java drivers. So everybody wants to work with the last one. Fourth driver is very popular driver compared to the first 2, 3. Right? So how they are different with one another, we will see one by one. So let us have a short and sweet discussion once again regarding the names of the drivers, as it is frequently asked question in the interviews. The first driver is called as type 1 driver, name is JDBC ODBC bridge driver, which is commonly called as a bridge driver. And second driver is called as a native API partly Java driver, which is commonly called as a native driver. And third type of driver is called as a all Java or net protocol driver, which is also called as a middleware drivers. And fourth type of driver is called as a all Java or native protocol driver, which is also called as a pure Java drivers, right? Right. So let us take the first driver. In first driver, what is happening in first driver? JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So what are the advantages of this first type of driver? Is the advantage is the JDBC ODBC bridge allows to access almost all database, since database ODBC drivers are already available. So here database drivers are already available here. So almost all database is accessible. But it has some disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages of first driver is, since bridge drivers is not written fully in Java, type 1 drivers are not portable. Okay, so since all drivers are not written in Java, so all the drivers are, so it is the type 1 drivers are not portable here. And second disadvantage also it is having, that is what? Performance issue. What is performance issue here? Performance issue is seen as a JDBC calls. That means here the performance also becomes slow because the number of layers are more here. That is why the performance wise also it is lesser here. It becomes slow, right? And third drawback is the client system requires ODBC installation. Better performance than the first type of driver, that is called a JDBC ODBC driver, as the layers of communication are less than the type 1 driver. So what are the layers and all are there, we'll see in the next coming sessions. We have separate diagrams for this, we'll go through that. Of course, it is also having disadvantages in second drivers. That is mostly here they are not thread safe, that is one drawback. And native API must be installed on every client machine. On every client machine, on every client machine, the type 2 drivers must be installed. So that is one drawback here. And if you change the database, we have to change the native API as it's specific to the database. That is also a drawback present in the type 2 driver. Coming to type 3 driver, that is called a all Java or net protocol driver. So what are the advantages of this driver is, this driver is server based, so there is no need for any vendor database library to present on the client machine. It is based on what? Server based. So we don't require any kind of vendor database library to present on the client machines. As well as it has got another advantage. What is that? Driver is fully written in Java, hence it is portable, therefore it is suitable for the web also. This drawback we have seen in the second type of driver, and that is overcome in third type of driver. And this driver is very flexible to allow access to multiple databases using one driver. And it has got some disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages? It requires another server application to install and maintain. That means traversing records may take longer since data comes from the backend server. So that is one drawback in the third driver, that is called performance wise it is slow. Coming to the fourth type of driver, it has got advantages but it has got less disadvantages. So what is the fourth type of driver is native protocol all Java drivers. So what are the advantages present in this kind of driver is, the type 4 driver is completely written in Java, so it achieves full platform independency, there is no doubt in that. Second advantage is number of translation layer is very less, so performance wise it is very good. Third advantage is there is no need to install special software on the client machine or on the server. These drivers can be automatically downloaded dynamically. That is one advantage of using the fourth type of driver, and everybody is using Oracle drivers for this now. But it has one disadvantage. What is the disadvantage is, the user needs a different driver for each databases. That means if they are using Oracle, they require Oracle drivers. If they are using SQL Server, they require SQL Server. That is one drawback. Only that drawback is there. Remaining drawbacks are not there here. So these are the types of JDBC driver. Now coming to the, before going ahead to the how the JDBC works, we'll have a small discussion on a relational database model. In relational database model, we call table. That means the data is going to spread like this. We have rows and columns like this. So this is called as a table, and this is one record, and these are called as the fields. These are called as the one field, employee number, employee name. They are all called the fields. Employee number, employee name. They are all called different fields. Salary. They are all different fields. Okay, and we can keep constants also. Unique key, primary key, constants also we can keep, and we can perform all kinds of SQL statement queries like querying the record sets. All these operations can be performed. Okay, next coming to structured query language. Coming to structured query language. In structured query language, we have a small overview and we will see the keywords. So we have select, from, where, group by, order by, insert into, update, delete from. So select keyword is used to retrieve all data. That means if you want to retrieve all data from the database, we use the word select star from EMP likewise. So from which table you want? From where clause. That means select star from EMP where EMP number equals 1. So I want to retrieve all data from the table, so I will simply give select star from EMP. If you want the employee number 1, then I say select star from EMP where I give the where clause criteria for selection, where EMP number equals 1, or select star from EMP where salary greater than equals 5,000. People who are getting salary more than 5,000. So they are called the select star from EMP and where clause also. Similarly, we can go for group by clause also. So grouping records. Order by class, we can order them either in ascending order or in descending order. Whenever we want to insert the records in the table, that means if you want to add a new row or record, then we are going to use what? Insert command to insert into the table, to insert a new row in the table. And update command is used to make changes. That means, for example, here, the employee is getting salary 5,000. I want to change his salary to 10,000. Then I am going to use what command? Update command, right? So please don't get confused. Insert command is used for insertion of data, whereas update command is used for making changes in the data. That is called update. And whenever you don't want to keep the row or you want to delete the row, I am going to use what? Delete command. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. If you want to retrieve data from the database, I am going to use select command and select star from EMP, it gets all the rows. Select star from EMP where employee number equals 1, it is going to show all the data of employee number 1. If you want to order them, you can order them either in ascending order or in descending order. Whenever you want to insert a new row in the table, then I'm going to use insert keyword, insert command. If you want to make changes in the database, that means I want to change the name of Lakshmi to Lakshmi Rao. Then I'm going to say, you use command, which command? Update command here. Delete from is a command to delete the rows from the table. Right. Yes, some queries here we have given for your understanding purpose. Actually, SQL is a separate session, but since everybody learning JDBC, so before learning JDBC, you should have a knowledge of JDBC. That is the reason we are just giving a small training so that everybody can be alert of having a knowledge of select commands and all. So just query I have given select from table name and select from whatever the author's table. This is the table we are having. In that this is the table, but the table name is what? Authors. And we have columns. What are the columns? Author ID is one column, last name is one column. So this is my row or record, row and record. Right. So if you want author ID and last name, I am saying select author ID last name from authors. So this is the result I am going to get from the table. Similarly, you can use where clause also. Where clause means what? To specify the selection criteria. I am using what? Where clause here. So what I am saying, either you can use select less than, greater than, equals, not equal, equals. So you can say here select star from, or you can say all the columns names. Select title is one column, edition is one column, copyright is one column. From title table, what is your condition? Where copyright is greater than 1999. So I want all the titles who's having a copyright more than 1999, greater than 1999. So this is my where clause. What is the where clause? Where copyright greater than 1999. If you don't give where clause, you are going to get all the copyrights from 1990, 91, 92, or etc. So again we have a condition here. Select author ID, first name, last name. So we got author ID, first name and last name. From which table? Authors table. The name of the table is what? Authors. Their last name like. This is called the SQL command, is like in a English like query language. This is called like means what? It's almost like similar to our English like language. So where last name like D percentile. D percentile means what? The last name should begin with what? D, and remaining characters could be anything. But last name should start with the word G character, and remaining characters could be anything. Right. Similarly, here their last name like I have kept here underscore means what? The first characters could be anything, but the last name should be the second character could be what? I. That means the first character could be anything, second character must be I, and remaining characters could be anything. So I am using percentile. So whenever you want to represent single character, we use underscore. That means first character could be anything, and I means what? Second character should be I, and remaining percentile means what? Remaining characters could be anything. That means ETO, anything it could be have. Order by class, you can order by here. Select field name 1, field name 2. That means select any columns from table name. Order by ascending means it's going to order ascending order. ASC means ascending order. If you want to display them in descending order, you have to say DESC. If you don't specify ASC also, by default the order by clause works in a ascending order only. Right. But for your descending order, we need to specify the descending order. So short and sweet here. Select author ID, first name, last name from authors table. Order by last name. I want to order by last name. What is the last name? This is the last name. In which order you want to order? I want to order them in a ASC, ascending order. So we got in ascending order. Okay, so giving this ASC is optional. Similarly, I want to order them in descending order. Whenever you want to order them in descending order, DESC is mandatory. So we are ordering them in descending order. Last name is order first, Santry, then like that. Similarly, we can order them by two names or two columns also here. Select author name, first name, last name from authors table. Order by last name, first name. That means I want to order by first name also as well as last name also. Since you are not specified in ascending and descending order, by default it will be ordered in ascending order. Okay, already I have specified by default it will be ordered in ascending order. Okay. Similarly, one more, these are all the queries we should have a practice, so we are having a practice, that's all. Select ISBN, ISBN number, total, edition number, copyright, price. From title is a table name, this is a table name. Where title like, what is the like here? Person like is a English like query. How to program, this is a like. So what is the percentile denotes this? Percentile denotes this means the first characters could be anything. After that, it should have how to program. So here this is the matching, how to program, how to program. So here percentile means what? Advanced Java to platform is a percentile representation. C is a percentile representation. C is a percentile representation. C++ is a percentile representation. Internet and worldwide web is a percentile representation. Percentile means what? More than one character representation. So we got wherever how to program is there, that all queries we got. And I want to order by what? Title, according to ascending order. So we got A first, then C, 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 then I, P, B, X, E, likewise. So capital E is a business, that is why. Similarly, we can merge data from multiple tables using the concept called as joins. So what are joins is, the join table joins the join command is used to join the data from the different tables here. So which is used to merge data from multiple tables in a single view. So how do you join? We can join like this. How? Select this syntax. So joining two tables with equal symbol here. So I want to join this table now. I want to first name, I want to display last name ISBN from this table, authors table, authors ISBN table, where authors.author ID equals author ISBN.author ID means what? So I'm joining the table to itself so that, and I want to retrieve the data from the table here, and I want to order by last name and first name. So this query we are going to explain when we see programmatically how it is going to work. Similarly, if you want to insert a row, how do you insert a row? You can insert the row with help of insert command. Insert into authors is the table name, first name, last name, values Sue and Sumit. So we have inserted the row here, the first name and last name. Okay, and if you want to update, how do you update? Update authors, set last name John's. That means John's last name. I want to set their last name Smith and first name is Sue. That means first name is what here? Wherever the first name is Smith is there, and last name, sorry, wherever the last name is Smith and Sue first name is there. So here first name Sue is there. So before it was Smith, now it has changed to John's. Understood? Once again, okay, second. So this author's name is, first name is Sue. Second name is what? James. Now James want to change with John's. So what I say? Update authors, set last name. Last name we are setting here, John's, where last name equals Smith and first name is Sue. So changes has been done here. That is called updations. Similarly, we want to delete the rows from the table. So for that purpose, we are going to use command, delete command. So delete from authors where last name equals John's and first name equals Sue. So in the previous table, Sue and John's is there. So this record will be deleted. So after deletion, you can't see the fifth record. Like this, the delete command works. So short and sweet, we have revised all the SQL. That means people who don't have knowledge of SQL queries, they can learn from these things. Minimum SQL. See, I don't tell that this is the elaborate SQL teachings is going on. These are all the prerequisites for the JDBC connectivity. That is the reason we are just introducing it. But if you really want to learn about SQL, you can log on to kerneltraining.com and you can have a complete learning of SQL queries. Right. Now we are again getting back to the JDBC now. Right. Now already in the previous sessions, on the previous slides, we have seen what is JDBC and how JDBC API works and what are the different drivers are there, how different drivers provide advantages and disadvantages, all these things we have seen. And now we are getting into the important part of the session, that is called as the steps which are involved in the programming for database connectivity. If your Java application wants to connect to the database, so what are the steps are there? So these are the steps are there already in the previous slides. In the previous slide, I have explained you how what are the components are there. So these are the components are there. Using these components, our Java application is going to connect to the database. So how it is going to connect, we are going to see now, right? So these are the basic steps are there. The first step is called as establishing connection. First step is we have to establish the connection to the database. First step. Unless until you establish the connection, you can't perform any operation. After establishing the connection, you are going to begin the transaction. After you begin the transaction, you are going to create some statement. What statement you are going to create? Either insert statement or update statement. Any statements you are going to create. And after that, you are going to associate SQL with the statement objects. And fifth step is providing values for statement parameters. And sixth step is execute the statement objects. Seventh is process the results. Last is end the transaction and release all the resources which you have stored in the memory space. So these are all the 9 steps which are present in the database connectivity. But it is not mandatory to have all the connection. Yes, Sandeep is asking, is it mandatory to have all the connections? No, it is not mandatory to have all the connection. But the most important thing is we need to establish connection to perform any transaction. This is very important. Compared to all these things, we need to establish the connection to begin all the transactions. Right? Now, using JDBC, first of all, the first and the foremost step is we need to load the drivers. So how do we load the drivers is, the drivers can be loaded by using the load drivers. That means the drivers can be loaded by using the, this is the programming steps is there. Using this programming step, we are going to load the driver. Class.forName, and we are going to get an instance of that, and with this the driver can be loaded. What type of driver you can load? This is my 4th type of driver I am using. As I explained you already, there are 4 drivers are there, which is called as type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4 driver. The type 1 driver name is what? JDBC, ODBC, Twitch driver, and type 2 driver is native API partly Java driver, and type 3 driver is all Java and protocol driver, and type 4 driver are called all Java native protocol drivers. So among these drivers, any one driver we have to register. So we have to register it or we have to load the driver. So I am loading which driver? The 4th type 4 driver, that is database driver here. So I am using Oracle driver here. So Oracle driver, my local host name is, and whatever the username password is there, that username password I am specifying here. That is called, this is my host name, this is the port number, my database name, my username and password here we are using here, right? So first step is what? Loading the drivers. Next, establishing the connection to the database. And how do you establish the connection? Connection on is the object. Driver manager dot get connection. Get connection is a method to get the connection. To whom you are going to get the connection? With this URL. You pass URL parameter. So what are the parameters are there? These are things are there. And apart from that, you are going to specify username and the password. Okay, so once again, first step is you need to load the driver. Second step is establish the connection. Loading driver is done with the help of what? Class.forName. All these things we are going to see programmatically, then we will be having a complete clarity. How the establishing connection is happening, all these things we will learn programmatically. Then we will be having a complete clarity on this. Right. After that, the second stage is called as what? Begin the transaction. How do you begin the transaction? Con. What is the con? Con is a connection. Already in the previous slide, we have established the connection. Set transaction isolations, and we are going to set transaction with the help of begin transaction here. On dot auto commit means what? I don't want to commit all transactions. Whenever I require, I will commit it. So I have given false here. So if you say true means what? Automatically all the transactions are going to be committed. The third stage is called what? Create statement object. So we are going to create the statement. What statement? Maybe insert statement, update statement, delete statement, etc. Fourth step is called as associate SQL with the statement. What is happening here? We are associating with SQL statement. What is SQL statement? Maybe I want to create a table. Create table. What is the table name? Students. What are the column name? Name. This is my data type. That is my data type. This is pure SQL command. This is SQL command, not belongs to Java. So create table students. Name is a column name. That is data type. 30 is the bit size of the column. ID is one more column. Integer is data type. So totally how many columns are there? Name, ID, and phone. So that is a query string I have written here, right? So that is called a statement. So sixth process the statement. How do you process the statement here? Yes. To process the statement, we use result set or result set metadata. What is result set? A result set is a memory space. Result set is a memory space. Generally, what happens is a Java program had a request. What request is it has select star from EMP from the database table, from the database. So from database, it will return rows or 10 rows or 15 rows. So the Java application should capable to hold all the rows. For that purpose, what it is using? It is using result set method, result set. So what is result set? Result set is a memory area where all the rows are going to be stored, which has been written by the database to the Java. So we can execute the query with the help of the method called as execute query. Right. And of course, we can use execute update method also whenever you are performing updations transactions. What about result set metadata is, see, result set is going to give only the rows. But sometimes from database, I want to have the information regarding the, see, I would like to show the things here. Result set will give only this part. Which part? Only this part. 4 records. Whereas result set metadata will give the meta informations like author ID, first name, last name. That means whenever if you want column names also, or what are the data types it is holding, all those things can be stored with the help of what? Metadata. So result set will give the only results information. That means records only. Result set metadata will show records. Along with the records, it will be showing the meta information such as the how many rows it has and what are the columns it has. What column they like. For example, if you say result set metadata here, written value is what? The column name is name, ID, phone. What are the data type it has? Varchar. So all these kinds of information is going to be shown by the result set metadata. Whereas result set, what it shows only this information, only the rows. That's all. It will not bother about the columns, etc., column names or databases or what are the width and all is there. It is not going to bother. Right? So in that also we'll be having compile queries can be processed with the help of prepare statement and callable statement. We will see the programs individually, then we will be learning about what is prepare statement, what is callable statement. Very frequently asked questions in the interview, what is the difference between result set and result set metadata. So result set is an interface, it will give the rows. Result set metadata shows the meta information such as column width, column names, how many columns are there, how many rows are there. All such information can be retrieved from the result set metadata. And last is end transaction, that is we can perform with the help of con.commit. Con is a connection, commit means I want to commit the transaction. Sometimes I want to roll back the transactions. What is rollback? I want to cancel all the transactions. Then I can say con.rollback to roll back all the transactions. And after performing all the transactions, release all the resources by saying con.close. Once you say con.close, whatever the connections we have established between the database and to the Java, everything is going to be released. So this is all going to be released. So all things are going to be released. So these are the 9 steps for involving the database connectivity. That is called as the load drivers, establish connection to the database, begin the transactions, create a statement, associate SQL statement, process the statement, end the transaction, and release the transactions. Okay. Okay, so these are all the classes which are responsible for database connection. What are the classes are there? Java.SQL drivers. So unless creating custom JDBC implementation, never have to deal with it. It gives JDBC launching point for DB connectivity by responding to the driver manager connection request. So this is for driver registration. We have driver manager also. What it do? It maintains list of drivers, implementation, and present an application within one that matches the request URL. So you can use driver, and driver manager is going to manage all the drivers. So in that we are going to specify the URL, user identity, password, all these things we are going to perform. And java.sql connection, with the help of this we are going to make the connection. These are the classes for the DB connection, that is called database connection. So these are all the URLs are there, that is called as for syntax similar net URLs. So from this also we can access the necessary information. Even the general syntaxes also can be obtained from this stuff of information. So JDBC making the connection here. So register the driver implementation of DB. JDBC requires the driver classes to register itself with driver manager when it is initiated. So that we can do, already I have explained you in the previous slides. Class.forName, with the help of this we can register the drivers, and with the help of connection C and driver manager we are going to establish the connection. So the first step is you are registering the drivers, second step is establishing the connection, and third step is your making the SQL statement. And after making the SQL statement, one or more rows can be written by the query by using the result set rs equals st.execute query. So it's going to execute the query, and then all the rows are going to be retrieved. And that means, as I said you already, we have Java program and we have database. So all rows are going to be retrieved here, and then the rows are going to be stored here, and from there all the outputs will be displayed here. Okay, and if you want to get the meta informations, right? To get the meta informations, like what is meta informations? To get the information regarding the columns, like column names and database names, what is the width it is having, what is the data type it is having, all those things can be produced with the help of result set metadata. The column names are, the methods are get column count is a method to get the column number of columns present. You can get with the help of the method called as get column count. What are the names are there if you want to find out? Get column name. Right. If you want regarding the database meta information, you can get it with the help of database metadata. Right. Prepare statement, whenever your query is having any parameters, then we are going to use prepare statement here. So prepare statements, for each SQL statement received, the DB builds a query plan by passing the SQL statement, reading the SQL to determine what to do, formulating a plan for executing the SQL, and repeatedly executing SQL with same query plan is very inefficient. So that can be done with the help of what? Prepared statement interface. So whenever our query is having some kind of parameters and all, then we can go for prepared statement interface. Okay. So DB enables you to optimize repeated calls through prepared SQL, and Java instance of prepared statement that notifies that database of all kind of SQL is represented here, and create a query plan for the SQL even before it is actually executed. If the same prepared statement is executed more than once, the DB uses the same query plan without rebuilding the new one. So this is the advantage of using the prepared statement. What? If the same prepared statement is executing more than once, the DB uses the same query plan for rebuilding the new one again. So this is the programming techniques. All these things we will learn independently because we have not learned the programming systematically. So we will see in the next coming sessions. Right. Thank you so much for attending the introduction to Java database connectivity. We hope that you achieved all the introduction part. But once again, in short and sweet manner, I would like to explain in one or in few sentences. I would like to give introduction part of JDBC, that it stands for Java database connectivity, and it is an API which consists of set of Java classes, interfaces, and exceptions and specifications to which both JDBC drivers and JDBC developers can develop the application, and Java applications can connect to the databases. So the first and the foremost thing is, any application wants to make connection to the database means the first and the foremost thing is they have to make use of only one mechanism, that is called as JDBC. Because in Java we have got various kinds of applications we can develop. We can develop standard applications, web applications, Windows applications. So whatever the kind of applications we are having, all the applications, if they want to make a connection to database, they have to use only one mechanism called as JDBC. So that is why I suggest everybody to learn JDBC properly. And before learning JDBC, there is a prerequisite that to have a knowledge of SQL. Of course, if you don't have knowledge also, while teaching JDBC, we will teach you how the queries goes on, right? Thank you so much for attending the introduction to JDBC connectivity part. You can ask me. We will rectify you. Yes. Regarding the fee sessions and all, please you can contact kerneltraining.com. They will provide all the necessary information. Right. Thank you so much for attending the Java database connectivity. I wish you good luck for your future and year. Thank you so much.